Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another action-packed race here on Speedrun. This is, of course, the Celeste GSA Celeste Any Percent League. I am joined with Espil today. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, feeling a little bit better today. Very excited for this match. I unfortunately missed the Psyched versus Scrubboard, but I caught the tail end of it, and I'm ready to just jump right in to this one.
Yeah,
Speaking of which,
here they
we
go.
are we are off and running.
So this is this is, the number one versus number two. They've had some really entertaining matches in tournaments previously, including one in which Flad got the world record. So it's just always a treat to watch.
That is correct. We've had Flad and TGH. Um, I believe that they were in a showcase race here on Speedrun before. Then, of course, there was the Speed Gaming tournament where Flad took the world record from TGH, and then also sending him into losers, and then actually winning the whole set in a
Yeah.
nail biter to take that tournament. And then they didn't meet against each other in the GSA bracket tournament, unfortunately. But here we are yet again in the GSA League, where these two are once again going at it. I'm looking forward to just a nail biter through and through for all three races.
Yeah, for sure. And no matter what happens, we're going to see just some really awesome just racing and cool strats that, you might not get to see even if you watch, the top 10 people or something like that. So it's going to be entertaining for sure.
Yeah, we do have Teach, with his tried and true consistency left and right. Flad generally goes for a little more on the riskier side, but also known to not take any resets during his practices. So if Flad can get on, then we're going to be looking for some very exciting stuff here. As we finish up with City, it looks to be about I think that was 134 on Teach's screen, so a 2-second difference.
Yeah, and Flad had that one death there. But other than that, yeah, everything looked pretty smooth for both of them.
Now, I feel that when these two race, because they also do races amongst each other on their streams respectively,
Mm-hmm.
I feel that Flad, or Teach brings out like the absolute tip-top shape of Fladervy when they're put together. I mean, that isn't to say that Fladervy is never running on all cylinders, but I just feel like it's like that extra oomph that just comes about, and I believe we're going to see that today. I think just a lot more aggressive strats and everything else on Fladervy's end. So we're just really going to be. I mean, I feel like we're just going to be sitting back and just watching and enjoying the ride here.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely felt that way as well. So I'm excited to see it. We're seeing a couple mess ups here from Flad early on. But I mean, for these first two chapters, generally, it's not going to be enough to make or break anything for sure.
Definitely. Like the little bumps in the road here, it's just like just a half a frame here, or not half a frame, half a second. Just little small areas, but they can easily be caught up.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting ready to approach Awake. This could actually be the first part where Flag can come in and sneak up on him. So
Yeah, I mean, for either one, you just mess up one small thing and it kills all your speed. It can really make a big difference. So Awake can really go either person's way.
Teach coming through with a very, very clean Awake. Flat now up to bat on Awake. Getting to these screens very quickly. Nice ultra there into the spring room. Nice corner boost.
Yeah.
Again with the corner boost. Oh, wow. This is
Looking
really
good as well.
Really good. And so Teach coming in. Wow, I'm going to say it's about 1 to 2 seconds again. You know, normally we're just like, okay, you know, you kind of start seeing the gap starting to form. But again, these two runners, very, very close to each other in regards to times. I think overall it's like a what? I think between their PBs, it's what? No more than 20 seconds, if that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's right around that, with Tej having just under 28 minutes and Vlad having just over.
Now, that's what I'm going to ask you right now. Do you feel that we're going to see another sub 28 today in this race?
It's certainly possible. I'd love to see one from each. I think that would be great. But it's so incredibly difficult. And sometimes I think of it as like, you know, we've now played, and obviously this isn't quite how it works because there are so many new strats and everything, but we've played so many people doing like almost, it's been over a year of speedruns and we've had like 2 sub 28s ever. It's just like, at this level especially, you have to be so perfect the whole way through that it is really difficult.
That is true. We're definitely going to be watching both runners coming out of Reflection. If they are at a sub 20, the chances are really good. Both of these runners very strong in Summit. I believe, I know Tej was able to get an 8:05 in Summit, and then Flad has had 80, I think 8:06 and 8:07s. So if they're both on point, it could go either way. So
yeah. Vlad traditionally has just been absolutely incredible at Summit. And yeah, Tej has come through with some really good Summit times now as well. And someone asks, TGH has the world record. That is correct. He does, and Vlad is the number 2 time currently on the leaderboards. And we're seeing, I don't know if it's a little bit of nerves from him, but it's definitely not quite looking clean from Vlad right now. We'll see if he's able to sort of pull that together a little bit.
I know in the league, Flag has really just turned it up when we get into the second race. And, you know, nerves definitely come into play. I know that Vlad has been having some difficulties with his hands, I guess, like some, you know, minor discomfort here and there. Again, like, Celeste is a very intense game, and in Fladervy playing on keyboard, you know, that adds even more to it. So, that's actually a nice strat from Vlad there. I have not seen that before, yeah. So looking real crisp here. And again, you know, oh, nice save. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, they could have been way worse, but he got it. You know, we're looking at the IGT. That is what's really important here in this race. And it looks like Tej is like way further ahead, but like when we're looking at the clocks, that's what really we're trying to see here. And so far, I mean, Tej is having a very, very outstanding run so far in Resort. I haven't seen any mishaps or shakeups. We're going to see if he's going to go for checkpoint. He is going to play it safe.
He did, yeah. It sounded like from when we were talking with him after that one race that, like, pretty much no matter what, he's always going to go for the checkpoint there in racing.
Oh, in this room, those dust bunnies just kind of got the best of him there.
I feel like I'm seeing every single person die in this room these days.
Yeah, that room in particular has gotten to be a little more of a nuisance. I think partly due to the fact that it's demo, like coming in from the demo dash versus the traditional strat. It's just like, you know, the cycles kind of change, and if you don't get everything near perfect, I mean, you know, that's the task strat that we're talking about. So to be successful in there, you have to be on, you know, near frame perfect level.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you have, I mean, it's this long room, and you have some really tight cycles in really small places. If you look at something like some of the long rooms in 1500, you have some similar sort of like tight cycles in long rooms, but you actually have more space there to operate in versus that room where you just, like, especially with that corner boost and trying to dash over things, it's just these really small places that Madeline's trying to fit through. As Tej gets a 4:23 and ends up with a 7:47 after Resort, so a solid time.
Yeah, that was actually, that last room was very scary. He had a few bumps in the road that kind of put him off cycle. Hold on, look at that corner boost though. Woo, okay, Flad, I see you.
Yeah, almost gets that second one as well. And that looks like about 6 seconds difference then now after Resort.
Right, so now we're into Ridge here. Oh, ooh. not getting enough clearance there to pass that spike. It's going to start over, but taking the fast strat here. Fladervy now on.
Having a little bit of an issue there. Screen you don't usually see too many issues with, but then gets the ultra. That's good.
Yeah, that's what it's really going to come down to. We're going to be looking for not necessarily deaths as a telltale of time loss. We're just going to be looking for those slight bumps in the road, those little mishaps there, and basically which runner is going to be having more of those like accidents versus the deaths themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you can get runs with very, very few deaths, and certainly that's not always going to happen in a race, but there are so many things, especially you watch someone do runs of like a specific level with these room by room splits, and everything will be perfect, and it'll just be like, oh, lost 0.2 of a second in that room, and then you go to the next one and oh, you lost 0.2 of another one. It looks like you're doing everything right, but it's just these tiny little optimizations that you can make here and there that over time can add up to seconds and seconds and seconds and really make the difference.
That is very true. Teach, minus that mishap early on in Ridge, looking to have a very nice run so far in this level. Flat not too far behind again. Getting the speed strat there. That one is really hard. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just like think, nope, I'm just gonna go for the old one.
That's one where you watch some of the top people, and if they don't get it, you're just like, yeah, that makes sense. It's understandable.
All right, so Teach getting into cliff face here at 9:49. Flad just a few screens off, taking that top route. Very nice. Using that wind to keep his stamina so he can just not rely on his dash. So it's about a 4-second difference, it looks like, between both runners here.
Flying through it. In this match specifically, unless I don't believe they've done any side bets, but there is not any money in this. Oh wow! Let me hold the thought. That's quite the save from Flad. He was flying completely over that bubble and then was able to save that with a nice dash over to it. But no, there's no money specifically in this match, unless again they've decided to, do some secret side bet that we don't know anything about.
Yeah, I don't think there is. Oh, for the league? Okay. So, we do have the 5,000 prize pot bonus from Matt Makes Games, which I'm not 100% sure on how like that payout is from like in any shape or form. But we have that. And again, these two are basically playing right now for the #1 seed in the playoffs. So actually, I believe if it's in typical playoff format, the winner or the person in the first is going to go against Psyched in the first round. So we'll have to wait and see. But right now, both runners, Teach getting set up for Yeet. He's going to get that.
He gets it no problem.
I definitely feel a double Yeet in the cards today.
It feels very likely. Yeah.
We talk about Yeet a lot. I guess like, when we come to chapter 5, everybody's like, Bubs drops this and Bubs drop that. And like, yes, that is a very important aspect to the run. But I feel like Yeet is just overlooked. Because...
Yeah, nobody ever talks about it. It's a real problem.
Yeah, because, to me, I think the Yeet is way harder than Bubs drop, in my opinion. Because you don't really have a tell on when you're supposed to, make that leap of faith to get that corner boost. You just kind of have to go for it. The big difference is that there's not, like, if you miss it, you're like, okay, whatever, I can still keep going. You don't really lose time unless, like, that Yeet has become part of your PB.
Yeah, and a couple notes. One, they did double Yeet, so good work to them. And two, somebody asked the question, as people always do, why the B-side? So I'm just going to say that one of the things is that completing the B-side of a chapter unlocks the A-side of the next chapter. And so for chapter 5, getting to the tape as TGH goes off the button nice there. And then completing the B side is faster than just doing the A side altogether. And a big reason for that is that the B side of Chapter 5 is incredibly non-linear. And thanks to some skips that we have, we're able to skip massive sections of it. And so that is why you will see 5B, but you will rarely see any of the other B sides in an any percent run.
Flad also going for that button there too. Also, Flad had a nice save in the room leading the Bubs drop. Didn't get the height that he wanted, and just kind of had to readjust, but was able to make very good work of that.
Yeah, as Tej takes a death there. And so they both got Bubs drop first try, which is big. But yeah, ooh, okay, Tej is doing this strat, and he gets it first try. That's big. We were talking about how it's a relatively newer strat, and people don't have it quite consistent yet in that 3-pillar room. And so you can see people missing it as Tej does take another death. But Tej was able to get it first try.
Oh no, I'm not sure what happened there on Flad's screen. Like,
Ooh.
he got it, and then, I don't know, he just either missed the seeker entirely, or I'm not sure.
That's not
But
good.
was having to do that room over.
Flad go. Ooh.
Oh no, wasn't lined up correctly.
And then, yeah, showing some of the different ways that this strat can be messed up and why it's so difficult. As okay, Vlad does get it, but like it's gonna be, I feel like, another months until just like you see people getting that with any sort of consistency. As Tej completes Chapter 5, it had to be a pretty solid time for him.
Well, Flad is gonna have to do a little bit of improvising here. Not getting the initial strat off the bat, but able to get through unscathed. He's gonna continue on. Also, actually, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Carry on.
All right, and so, okay, Tej, it was like 14-18 for him or something like that. So we're looking at, as we see Flad's time load eventually. That was what, like 20 to 30 seconds? 20-ish, I think, difference?
I think so.
Eventually? Yeah, about 25. Headed into reflection.
And now, even though it doesn't really look like it due to Flad's great feather movement here, but he is playing on keyboard, so between, you know, there's the constant debate on like, oh, what is better for Celeste, playing on keyboard or playing on controller? For the feathers, the controllers actually have a little bit of an advantage because you're able to, you know, they're omnidirectional for the feathers, so having an analog stick on your controller really helps out. For keyboard players, unfortunately, they don't really have that option, so they have to do a little bit of tweaking here and there, pressing those buttons.
Yeah, and some keyboard players do opt to have a controller as well, specifically for the feathers. I saw someone saying that through the run with reflection, optimally, as Vlad tried to save that but wasn't able to. Controller saves at most like a couple 2-3 seconds over having the keyboard.
What was that? Vlad just not getting high enough there, unfortunately. And
that was not easy to do.
Just some minor bumps in the road there. Still moving along. We have a lot of gameplay left here, so to say that either Tej is going to solidify this win or Vlad is out of it is far from the truth.
For sure.
Especially like Tej has some, you know, going for a few different approaches in the 1500 room for Summit. We're going to see if he's going to go for those as well, or if he's going to try to come up with some of the more traditional strats than he has in his repertoire. But Tej getting ready for Battle and Boost here. again, we're gonna want to look at this time when we leave out a reflection. If it's sub 20 minutes, and it might happen. It might happen here. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will see. I know there have definitely been some small issues on Teach's end, a few deaths, but overall, yeah, it has looked really solid, so that's certainly possible.
Right now, Vlad getting into Ravine. I'm getting ready to take on these developer-intended shortcuts, while Tej is just going heads up with battle in here. So I believe Vlad also goes for all 3 intended shortcuts. Yeah. I believe the only person that doesn't is Nero, at least out of the top 4. Nero goes for the more safer approach. And again, with his approach, he doesn't really lose too much time.
Yeah, it very little, if at all. It probably does lose some, but you know, the risk reward is pretty good for it.
Speaking of risk and reward,
going for it.
Talk about that swag from Vlad there.
Yeah,
I love watching that. You know, someone not knowing about that antics and nonsense, they're thinking like, what is he doing? No, he's gonna die. I'm like, no, Vlad in complete control. And again, I feel that's that's just part of like. It's a way for him to just kind of like cool his jets, so to speak, get his mindset ready for the battle and fight, and just kind of like shake any nerves or whatever he has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always wondered if there was a way to try and like stay fresh or anything like that. Make sure there's no downtime. But yeah, it sure always looks cool.
Yeah, teaching the second round of battle and fight here. This one's gonna be really close. He might just barely be over 20 minutes. We'll have to see. He's got 2 screens to go, and the last battling screen has been notorious amongst all runners to just cause all kinds of problems.
Oh yeah, and it's a bad death too. Like that could, if he takes a death at the end of that, it could get Vlad right back into it.
We'll see. Most notably, this feather coming up here. Okay, sometimes if you are not fast enough and you don't, you get stuck in the animation, Battle will just snipe you out. Just one and done.
Yeah.
All right, so Tej is now booking it up. He's got 19 seconds. I don't know. He's gonna really scamper up these walls and make this one work. It's gonna be really close though.
Yeah, and so I mean, basically, he's on a really good pace.
Yeah.
World record, no. But a really good pace as he gets pretty much exactly 20 minutes.
Actually, yeah. I just realized I was like, don't count him out. But then I'm like, no, he's gonna have to get a 7:52 summit, which I don't think is actually possible. So
he's just, he's got to do like really, really good. So exceptional. As he enters 0 meters.
Alright, now Vlad getting ready for the final room. So far, so good. Doing a little bit of shake and bake there. We're gonna see, getting ready to get the. Alright, nice. Opting for that fast strat there with the Ultra 2.
And yeah, that's a great point. From Spirity, Tass does have 752 summit. So if he just becomes Tass, then he can tie his world record. Well, yeah, I gotta imagine Tass is actually, maybe that's the old Tass of the 752 summit. I'm not entirely sure.
Alright, so now Fladervy clocking in at a 20:28. So again, almost 30 seconds difference between both runners here. It's gonna be close. 30 seconds is a lot of time, particularly with these two. But I mean, just looking at Summit itself, like for example, Tej not getting the fast cycle here on that zipper. So it's these little small things are gonna play a big role as we get closer and closer to Summit. And right there, some menu mismanagement too, just not getting the quick skip cutscene there. So like off the bat, that's like 2 seconds already carved into that lead if Fladervy can just play crisp and clean through. I'm trying to think here as we get into 1,000. I mean, this room in particular, he doesn't line it up right, but he does. Like, there's just so many areas where like something could just go wrong.
Yeah, for sure. And if you were to say that like TGH got like an 845 summit and Flad got like an 810, I wouldn't be shocked, right? So it's certainly still possible for Flad.
So Teach is already in the battle and out of the loop section. He's out. So we're gonna see if TGH is gonna go for these fast strats in 1500. Most notably, top route. You know, like we missed the Franker Z, and then also both long rooms with the fast strats there too.
Yeah, everyone it seems that I've seen has more recently, or a lot of people have upgraded to that sort of triple ultra in the long room. So that's been fun to watch. In this room that TGH is in here right now.
Oh, he went for it.
Wow.
He got it. Ooh, that's so nutty.
It is. It's tight. Is he
getting that one too?
Top route for Franker Z. As we'll see, the timer is obviously very different. I don't know if we're going to get a sync at some point in time or not here, but yeah, you can tell that they're about a minute off from each other as Flat is in 1,000 and TGH is entering 2,000.
I'm gonna go ahead and phone in a sync to see if we can get that.
Is that like a lifeline, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And just phone a thing?
Kind of, sort of. You know, just hit the production room and just be like, yeah, hello, Ron. Can we get a sync, please?
Yeah.
Just assuming that the producer's name is Ron.
And, well, so we've got the sync going now, and right before that, you got to see the beautiful auto-scroller skip from TGH there. So that was well done from him.
Also, Flag going for that fast strat in the last section here. We're going to see if he's going to go for this one here, too. Oh,
Nice.
Okay, with the wall bounce, too. I see you, Flag. Let's go.
It's like, that's nice what you're doing, TGH, but I got this little wall bounce in here. And he likes to still take the Franker Z room. I know the last race he was in chat, that is a nice butt, that's true. And he was saying that basically going top, if you do it perfectly, saves like 4 frames. And so it's basically personal preference at that point.
Yeah.
So he still likes to go and see the pooch in the pooch room. As we're seeing, yeah, we're pretty much synced right now. And this is something where it's not like Flad has been doing poorly in Summit. You know, he's doing everything he can to make up the lead. It's just that as he goes for this skip as well, it's just that TGH is also doing really well. And they both get it. I'm really curious to see what these final Summit times are going to be.
Flag going for a little bit of swag there. Making his way through.
And a nice little forward dash.
Alright, TG 2500. I'm going to see if he's going to go for the corner or the... Nope, he's playing it safe, doing these huge up forward dashes there. I know some people will opt to go for that corner boost and then ultra downwards.
Yeah.
But T's not doing that today. Vlad getting that demo dash through that auto scroller block. And now T's getting to that long room as well. Getting ready for key skip. As Vlad is about to enter 2500. And he got it there. So, I mean, like 2500, we got door skip. That's not really the big deal. Oh, look at that nice corner boost. Speaking of which, oh, that's exactly what I was just talking about. Oh,
this
no.
is the concern with it, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, not even keeping the speed there. Yeah, like this is the reason why some people don't opt to do that, because you do run that risk. So,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it does look cool though, doesn't it?
It does, but you know that's a lot of ground to recover if you take that death.
Yeah. TH still just powering through. as he is reaching at just about 5:30. So if you were thinking about like a 2-minute 30-second 3000 would be just about 8 minutes. So he's on a good pace for Summit, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't recall. I don't recall any mishaps on Teej's screen. So, at least so far.
Yeah, me
But
neither.
he's just kind of tearing through this downdraft portion right now. Taking that fast strat, skipping flag 22. Getting into flag 21. Nice. Vlad now getting into his 3000 as well as Teej approaches flag number 20.
Huh. Taking the reverse there, I wonder if he was concerned. It's this very slightly slower strat there on flag 20 or whatever that is. But I don't know if he felt like he was on such a good pace and he was worried he would mess it up with that strat that can cause a lot of deaths. But he's still
plowing through, getting on flag number 14 now. Fladervy skipping flag 25. Getting to flag 23. And again, skipping flag 22. He's making his way. It's like almost a mirror image of what we just seen Teej do. Now getting into flag 20. Opting to not do the reverse, but oh! Just clipping that spike there, going head first into it. Teej now on flag number 11. Shooting through to get into number 10. See if he's going to take it.
see a little flag 9 skip around.
Maybe we see that flag 10 was skipped. And now flag 9 as well. Oh, okay. That last jump is the one that gets me most nervous.
It is. That was a nice little flag 9 skip right there. As we're seeing, he's got a 724. So, okay, I guess I don't know the timing super well. It doesn't feel like. Is it still world record pace? I feel like it's not. But
I don't think it is, but it's definitely
really
gonna be really. It's gonna be really good. I mean, like, he's already on flag number 3. Basically, flag number 1 is about 8 to 10 seconds. So you can take that into consideration here. But so this is a very impressive time from Teej. Getting ready here. Vlad now going through flag number 10. And here's that flag 1. So Teej could potentially clock in at a 28:09 or 28:10.
Yeah, and we're gonna see he's going to get a 808, 809, which is one heck of an impressive summit time.
Oh yeah,
for sure. So he's 2809. He's gonna take that first race. Good work from him.
And Fladervy now on the home stretch here too. Getting set. Ready to fly into flag number 3 here. I'm gonna go for this nice little thread the needle there. That strat I get so anxious about, but it's so cool looking.
It is, and I never see anyone miss it, so it can't be that inconsistent.
Oh, you should watch me do it. Actually, funny story. When I'm playing regular 80%, I miss it a lot. But when I'm doing my invisible percent runs, I don't miss it. It's really weird.
Huh. Maybe the spikes just don't notice her.
Speaking of which, that is a nice segue to lead into pace. Let's talk about it. So pace, you know, that's where everything is going to come to head for Celeste 80% League. It's going to take place April 25th through the 28th at Xanadu Games by Laurel Park. I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. There's a good chance that both TGH and Fladervy will be there, depending on how these playoffs pan out. And lots of other cool games. Oh, sorry, I am yawning in the middle of that, my bad. But no, lots of cool games. As I mentioned, that Invisible Percent run, I'm actually running that as part of a marathon showcase.
Nice.
So look forward to all the drama from that as well. And just an overall great time. I mean, I'm very excited for this. And registration is still open. You know, if you're on the fence about going or not, like, don't hesitate. Just get out and do something. And of course, if you can't make it out, you can watch it on speedrun.com, or not .com, excuse me. Twitch.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically maybe you can on speedrun.com. They do have a nice embedded video there. I'm pretty sure it's there now for this year.
Nice.
I'm gonna go check.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Nice. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Let me do another double check here and look to see if we have a schedule. I'm not sure if this is the last one for the night or not. I know that Flat is probably gonna be taking just a short break. Teach as well. I mean, like I said.
So this is the last Celeste race of the night. I know we've got some. I believe it's Super Mario 64 with Puncation and someone else in the race after this. And a couple impressive. We got two 28s here from both TGH and Flad, which is nice. And we'll be taking just a couple minute break here before the next race starts. But yeah, those were two good runs. Those were two good summits. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, that's definitely the sort of action that I was expecting leading into this high octane race between both runs. It's going to be interesting because we're moving into the second race, and again, like I said, that's when like Fladervy starts really putting the turbo in and getting things going. So we're going to see. I mean, like in that best of 5, I mean, I think I want to say it was literally back and forth between the two, and then like Flat taking the first game, Teach taking the second game, Flat taking the third game, and so forth, up until the very end where I believe Teach had a little bit of a falter in Summit, and Flat was able to pull ahead and take that victory in the Speed Gaming tournament.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's really like you were saying, Vlad had some struggles here, and you know, it was a pretty convincing victory for TGH, but I'm definitely not expecting that to be the case in this race too. But we'll see.
And then, yeah, again, looking at the standings overall, they haven't been updated with Psyched versus Scrublord, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and so a fun fact, actually, about Psyched versus Scrublord is that Psyched actually has one more race left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, against Flare Bear. So was not aware of that, but
I was not aware of that either.
So I mean, it didn't matter in that Psyched is into the 8th spot now, but he is going to get the opportunity to get even more points afterwards, depending on how his race versus Flare Bear goes.
Yeah, he actually might be able to overtake Black Pair, unless, well, I mean, are there more races that I'm not aware of here?
I believe that to be the last one. He said it's not going to be like streamed or anything. It's just they've had difficulty scheduling it.
Oh, okay. See, that actually gives Sykes an opportunity to creep up and get into the 7th seed. Which would be very interesting.
So for any Psych fans out there, we have some good news for you. He did 6B in the race, by the way. I don't know if you got to catch that or not.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Sure did. I don't believe we'll be seeing any 6B in this race, but it was definitely fun to watch. We got some 6B, and we got Scrublord going for some of the Ridge auto-scroller skips. So it was a fun time all around.
I wish I tuned in for that now.
It's okay. There's a lot of people that regret that they didn't. And, you know, it's all right to be one of them.
Yeah, and there's always VODs too, so it's all good.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Has TH dropped a game? Yes. He actually lost a game to Nero in their set that they had last week.
Yeah, that's true.
And Fly 2 has also lost a game. I don't remember. Actually, I wonder if Nero also took one from him too.
So because they're tied on points, it would make sense that they both dropped exactly one game.
Yeah, I'm looking over the top 8 right now, and I know off the bat, like one of the big matchups that we're going to have is Sushi versus Chai Kitty. Again, they had a heated race against each other, so that is a run back I'm definitely going to want to watch. It looks like that it might be Malay versus Nero, and then depending on how this one pans out, it's either going to be uh, either Fladervy or TGH going against Black Pair, and then Sight. So,
so yeah, some fun races all around. As it looks like they are both just about ready to get into it.
I'm seeing in chat while they're asking for the most random file names. That is to prevent any, what's it called? Any cheating or splicing of runs or anything else like that. Which actually, it's interesting because they both seem to have different file names right now.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I don't think that Flad put in the correct file name this time around. Well, I don't know. It was hard to. Oh. So we're going to be catching back up here. Because we did a sync, which means we had to catch up with the runners too.
Yeah. Someone asking in chat, is it just me or do the commentators get even better every race? I don't think it's just you. I think you're listening to some really great commentators doing some really great commentating.
Yeah, and actually, Espel, I mean, you just came out of the blocks like recently, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't your first commentary race like last week?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to take this time to talk about myself. It was just a few weeks ago or so. I've been spamming nonstop in streams and Discords for a while, but just getting the opportunity to start commentating recently. It's been a lot of fun as we see the two of them get started here in Prologue with presumably the correct file. You've been doing a solid job commentating for quite some time now.
Thank you. So fun fact about me, because I might as well take an opportunity to talk about myself as well.
For sure.
Celeste is not my first go around in regards to commentating. Some years ago, I actually did commentating for our local fighting game scene up here in the Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
I had a few events and did a couple of the majors there. So that's where my passion for commentary really started. I kind of fell off with that once I kind of got out of the fighting games competitive scene.
Mm-hmm.
And these Celeste races actually just rekindled that spark in trying to get really like full hands on with commentary again, and it's been a lot of fun. It's just like everybody is like, oh, you're really, really good. I always feel like that I can improve. I feel like there's so many people out there that are better than what I have to offer. I particularly look up to Limcube and D Dangers from the Super Mario Odyssey commentating group. I actually really love their commentary to the point that I started following Odyssey just a little more, just based off of that. So I'm hoping that for those runners or viewers that aren't familiar with Celeste, that with the commentary that Espel, myself, Troy of Athens, Sushi, Flarebear, and the rest of the crew have to offer, it's gotten people interested into the game.
Yeah, for sure. As we see 2 102s in city there. So that's some really solid city time from both of them. No issues at all. And you mentioned fighting game scene. As Super Smash Brothers is a fighting game, did you happen to be involved in any melee there at all?
No. Now, that is not to say that I said that pretty quickly, but I should explain myself. I was mostly a 2D fighter. Played Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Capcom vs. SNK 2, Soul Calibur 2, Tekken, and the sort like that. I actually watched a little bit of Melee here and there, and it's fun to watch. But I also have gotten, I put casual competitive for Super Smash Brothers for Wii U and the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. So I definitely like watching it, and a lot of the other games too.
It is. I think of Melee, and I mean, like the Melee community and the speedrunning community. There's a lot of overlap, and it's similar in having, similar with Celeste as well, in having all this great tech, and just this high skill ceiling where you can really just sort of push yourself and make your character, whether it's Madeline or it's Falco, go just really, really fast, and it's just a joy to watch and to play.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that we use the term wave dash because that's basically how it somewhat works in Melee when you're performing a wave dash in here. So, pull some terms from the Melee scene as well.
For sure, as they are both flying through right now.
Yeah, they are.
We'll see. Oh, Tej just the tiniest of bonks there as he ends with a 320, which is like 3 seconds better than he was out of Old Site last time, and he had a really solid first 2 chapters last time, so he is killing it. As Flad ends there as well, didn't quite see what his time was, but they're both really solid so far.
I think Flad had a 323. So
323. Okay.
But yeah, I was a little saddened when I found out that Melee was not going to be at EVO this year, and I've seen the drama and the uproar behind that. But I mean, like, I felt the same thing when they decided to stop having Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournaments at EVO. It was just a sad time. But I mean, games progress and they move forward. And so you just have to decide if you're going to continue to play the old games and try to keep your scene strong, or if you're going to just adapt and move forward to the new ones. I mean, I feel that Ultimate is a nice blend. I mean, I've seen that Melee players and Ultimate players are enjoying the game, minus a few people complaining about online and some other stuff. But
yeah. But yeah, and it is nice that with Celeste, I don't think that's something that we're really going to have to worry about. There is always the possibility, I guess, that like the people running the game make some mistake that people, or not mistake, some change that people really don't like, but like there's not going to be like a Celeste 2 probably that people are going to try to move to or anything. It's just going to be Celeste, and will be for some time.
I mean, I do recall Matt, because there was people asking, like, is there going to be a sequel to Celeste? What are we going to expect? And Matt has been on record saying that he feels that a Celeste 2 is not needed, at least in regards to story-wise. There's a good closure here, I guess, especially with Chapter 9 when that inevitably comes out, hopefully soon. But I do agree with that. I feel that Celeste, as a standalone, it stands on its feet so well, and I feel that, years from now, people are going to see what we see now for people that are currently running the game. I mean, a lot of people, I feel, Celeste is like their first speedrun game. And I can say that for myself. I mean, I did Gunman Clive, but like one that I actually really, really was hampering down and really trying to learn. This was my very first go at it. And
it's a very friendly game for someone who this is their first speed game.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me because I think of Celeste, and there's a lot about sort of like accessibility and the concept with assist mode and everything of like lots of people being able to play it. And they did it, as Flad does the really nice corner boost there to fly over. They did something similar with speedrunning where it's able to like, it's very accessible for people with full timer in the game and it being on lots of different systems and everything. Like, it's a very accessible speedrun.
Mm-hmm. And especially with the assist mode too. I know like the big hot topic right now is difficulty in games, because you have Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and it's the typical like, this game's too hard, what do I do? And they're demanding an easy mode. I feel like, you know, because Celeste has the assist mode as well, and I feel they do a great job of that. Actually, you know, not to go too off tangent here, but one of my favorite YouTube channels, Game Maker's Toolkit, actually did a very nice piece on Celeste in the difficulty setting there too. So if you have the time, you know, check it out. Don't check it out now because we got a lot of action here. See, we're going to be missing.
Oh, he went.
Oh, that's super double whammy. Oh no.
And he took the checkpoint. He went as okay. Flag is the second, but he died in the screen afterwards. And he thought he was going to get the corner boost, I guess, or like was anticipating it, but flew over and had some difficulties on that screen. Otherwise, of course, he's been doing incredibly well. As Flad does take a death there in that first screen. So
and I'm seeing someone asking, is the reason why all the top speedrunners of the game are playing on PC? The reason behind that is PC is the quote-unquote most farthest along patch-wise, at least until Chapter 9 comes out, and then we'll have an even playing field. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, PC is on the most current patch, followed by the Nintendo Switch, then Xbox One, and then PlayStation 4. And actually, funny story,
right.
On PlayStation 4, you can't demo dash. You cannot. I've tried, and actually I tried to do a speedrun on that version, and it's awful. From playing on, like, you know, the PC version.
Yeah, well, I have the Switch, and I am so ready for it to be fully updated. But I was playing through 5B, and that very first screen, as we see about like a 16-second difference between the two, by the way. The first screen of 5B after like you go through the mirror is completely different on the Switch and a lot more difficult, which I didn't realize. But there are just like a lot of rooms as well that are different because they've updated them and tweaked them to make them easier or more difficult. And one other reason I think people run on PC besides that is that it's just easier to record, because to be on the leaderboards, you have to have a recording. And if that's on the Switch, you have to either take video of it like on your phone, which is difficult, or like buy a capture card, which can be expensive. So on the PC, you can just use like OBS and record it, and it's a lot easier. As we see that, it's the nice bubble strat with the transition to that screen, but then it's a little stuck there.
I also saw that Squillio's mentioned that Xbox is actually the lowest in the patches, so my apologies on that. But yeah, I tried to. I wouldn't say Switch is the worst. I mean, we have a couple top 20. We have a couple high-end runners that have run on Switch. I know Gix is one of them, and Flesh 177. Both of them are Switch runners. And actually, what's his name? It's like Argad or something like that. I believe he runs an Xbox. I think so. I think he runs an Xbox One. I have to look. He posts a lot of cool stuff on Twitter regarding the run. So, oh no, it's I think Crichter is
Crichter's in here. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Vlad almost saved that. But he died right at the end of this screen. That is a bad death for him. So that's gonna cost him a decent amount of time here, unfortunately. As TGH ends with a 10:28, and Vlad is not. He's just entering cliff face.
Yeah, we'll have to see how things are gonna pan out. But yeah,
yeah. And
I know that when. Oh,
sorry. Vlad, maybe that's just his strat. I thought that he saved it last time, but he did the exact same thing this time. I don't know. But someone mentioning Evans using the Pro Controller. Yes, he uses analog on the Pro Controller, which I do as well. It's really not that bad. I don't know about the D-pad for it, but the analog stick for it is pretty nice.
Oh, I know all about the D-pad on the Pro Sword. Don't. I wanted to for so long to just use that because I mean, like, if you think about it, well, actually, you know, my speedrun journey started out on the Switch. Like, that's where I first originally bought the game, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna just put it out there. I purchased the game on the Switch, on the PS4, and on PC, and I bought the physical collector's edition for the Switch as well. So I put a lot of money into this beautiful game here. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I have
for
no
sure.
regrets. No regrets whatsoever. But it was nice when the patches were lined up because I could practice on, like, once I made the Switch. Oh, you see what I did there? To the PC.
You did the snap too.
I did the
Nice.
did the whole 9 yards. But like, I was running on PC, but I was practicing on the Nintendo Switch on my commute. So like, I had a lot of time to really fine tune and get things going, and I definitely saw my times improve very quickly. Up until the patches just got too far apart, most notably with the 5B stuff. So,
as we're going to see here, oh wow, Madeline's head kind of hitting against him, but he yeets successfully, and I think we're 4 for 4 on yeets, which is nice.
And we are also 3 for 3 on Bub's drops.
That's a big one. Sure, Bub's drop, if you miss it, is like a 12-second loss, by the way. So getting that first try is important.
That reverse hyper off the button is so crazy.
It is. It's really cool.
It's so nuts.
But yeah, with the Switch, one thing that I like to do is it'll be, you know, I wake up at like 6 in the morning. My girlfriend's still asleep with the laptop just like right there. I can just go on the Switch wherever and practice my speedrunning, except that it's incredibly far behind. So I am so excited for Chapter 9 to come out and be able to just practice. You know, I could go wherever I want and practice my speedrun. I could be on the plane. I could be underwater. I could be anywhere. As he's getting through, Vlad successfully bub stopping here as well. So we're 4 for 4. And Vlad doing the nice button strat as well as Tej. Okay. Tej 2 for 2 with that pillar strat. So that's impressive from him. Yeah, Chapter 9 never, and then speedrun and girlfriend. The answer is to be as efficient with learning it as possible, and also to just not be that good at it, or just to, you know, have reasonable time expectations for yourself.
Missing Semi demo is not 4 for 4 right now. I think it's 5 out of 4. That makes sense.
Well,
yeah,
I had
right.
the one, so technically 4 were successful. I guess if you look at it the same way as other things, it would be sort of like 3 out of 4. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Checkpointless. As what are we coming into for TGH here for reflection?
About maybe 14, 19.
1422. So yeah, we're seeing something probably pretty similar to the last race for TGH, depending on how he does. Like so that'd be like a 5:38 to get to 20 minutes that he was at last time, which would be a good time for sure, but is certainly possible.
Well, Tej's average time for reflection is a 5:44, with his best time being a 5:35. So
Nice. Yeah, so right in that range for him. Alright, as we see Vlad coming into reflection here as well. He has a 1444. So yeah, definitely a bit unfortunate from Flad in terms of his time. Certainly something he's not happy with. But I mean, so we'll see, because I think his reflection was good. His summit was definitely largely good last time, and these are two really good chapters for him. So we'll see. He's going to need to mess up a little bit, but if he does and Flad powers through these two chapters, it's certainly possible for him to go and take this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what areas should we be cautious about on Tej's screen. We could see mishap in top route here. I don't think Ravine is going to be that much of a big deal. And then again, just like the last section of the battle and fight, those are like the few problem areas that things could just go wrong.
I mean, you really just have to look at the screens where you can lose a lot of time. So this one TGH is coming up on right now. Could be a potential one. The Ravine probably not, but it is a place you can lose time as Tej gets through this, no problem. Get that screen.
I feel like with that new strat where the runners are now bypassing that second, that last feather, I feel like that room has become a lot more safer than it used to be.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it sure seems to be. As Tej gets through the ravine, no problem. It's a nice little strat too.
Yeah, because you bypass the spawning time of the transition time into the feather, and you get a nice little boost off of the bumpers. So
yeah, and I mean, before that, Tej was going right through the middle of the queue at the end, and that's definitely a little tight. And if you're just a tiny bit too high or too low, so what he does now definitely has to be more consistent.
So Tej in the middle of the battle and fight here. Flad getting ready, heading into Ravine. It's gonna be interesting to see if Flad has made up time. I mean, like, I haven't seen any death screens yet from either runner so far for reflection.
Yeah, no, it's just been two solid. One almost a reflection of the other.
Hey. Alright, Tej getting into my I'm gonna just call this the GSA strat, because that's like one of the things that they showcased actually in a few trailers that GSA had. So, but it's pretty good so far on his screen. Flad now in the battle and fight as well.
Yeah, I think Flad got stuck there. I could be wrong in the battle line. And yeah, Tej had the 27 because he's the only one to have. So that helps clear things up pretty quickly. $22 seconds from battle line boost. That is not that bad. That is certainly achievable, and I think a little closer, I want to say, than it was at this point last race. I could be wrong on that, though. But we'll see as Flad gets into... Whew, I love that. Especially with that reverse there, you just gain so much speed. That looks so nice from Flad. All of those ultras there. Powers through. Both just, casually dealing with Madeline. Ooh, okay, we'll see how Flad's... As he unfortunately, that's definitely a little bit of a time loss there. Tej coming up on this final screen here. He gets that feather that's difficult. He gets the ultra, no problem. It's going to go right on through. Close to that 20 that he was at last. We'll see exactly where he lands. And then we'll see where Flad lands. Yeah, okay. Oh. So I was about to say that this should be better, but then there's just that tiny little mess up. And is he gonna... Nice. Wow, that is... I want to say last time it was a 20 with like 400 milliseconds. So that's what, like a 20 with 500 millisecond question mark? That is incredibly consistent. As he enters 0 meters here, and we'll see if he can get him their really solid summit. I don't know if he can get another 809, but we'll see if Vlad is able to get this screen in as well. That's no problem. So Vlad gonna end up around, what is that, 22, 23, 24, 25, just giving myself enough of a time period so I'm correct. Yeah, 23, so he's about 23 seconds behind Tej going into Summit. Certainly an achievable thing. You mess up a butt or two, you know, just do some small errors, anything could happen. Tej gets that difficult screen there with the Ultra, so that's good from him. There are definitely some difficult strategies here in 1,000 meter, or I would say that 500 meters, and Tej does a great job pulling them off. We see he messed that little corner boost grab last time, but he gets it this time, so well done from him. Someone's saying, fellas, it's got to be sync time by now. Seems fair enough. I've never requested a sync, but I sure think I will have the power. One quick note as Tej goes through these green blocks here. So it was figured out quite some months ago at this point. Oh yeah, hey, Ron. But you can actually, as we're getting this thing here, you can hyper out of the dream blocks, hypering being sort of the main speed tech of the game. But you can get this really nice hyper dash boost out of them by doing the inputs for a hyper right out of a dream block. We don't see it too much in Chapter 2 because it does take your dash. But now in Chapter 7 with 2 dashes, we are able to hyper out of one and still have a dash left. So it really is helpful. As my mic may or may not be bad and sounding like a robot. And we get to sync successfully here. Really nice triple ultra there. As Tej takes the top route. Little save. Yeah, we're gonna type a little in chat for it. Let me know if it gets really bad, and I will shut up. This Tej getting into these are 2 big screens as we see him go for this bounding under the terrain strat. Oh, what? Wow! He saved that? that is one of the more nuts. There's no way he's done that. Maybe he has. I guess it did. But that is a crazy save from him. I have not seen that before. Good work. As Vlad says, you know what, nice save. I'm just gonna do it way without needing to save. Thanks. I sound like the TikTok glitch song. Oh no. FC, I need you to come back. FC has disappeared to get water, and I have turned into a robot. And meanwhile, they are both racing very well. As Teach does get caught there, that's difficult to bunny hop correctly there from Teach. I sound normal now. That's good. That's one of the nicer things people have ever said about my voice. So I appreciate it. As Vlad getting these... Oh, okay, so he gets the corner boost successfully, but then does the same thing that Teach does in getting caught there. Difficult not to. Some requests to bring back the robot as Vlad successfully gets that there, the key skip, going through, Teach door skips, no problem. Bring back the robot. I am so bad at impressions, like you wouldn't believe. I try and do like Linda Belcher from Bob's Burger, New York voice, and it just sounds bad. But we're seeing here that, oh yeah, this is cutting a little close, isn't it? Troy, if I can ask you to please not post links in the chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's against the rules. We're seeing Teach powering through here. I don't think he's going to get another 809 like he did last time, but he's got a pretty solid lead right now. He'd have to mess up, let's say, flag 13, maybe flag 9, flag 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Any of those really could help Vlad catch up. 6, 5, 4, 3. But right now, he's not having trouble with any of them. See? As he gets the 13 here, Vlad at about 17. So we're seeing about a 4 flag difference.
Alright, I'm back. What did I miss?
Seconds. Hello? I turned into a robot.
Really?
That's probably the most important thing. Yeah. And now people are sad that I have my normal, but that's okay.
Aw.
Yeah. Okay, Teach gets through flag 9 skip and all that, no problem. He's doing well.
Alright, flat skipping number 10 here. We're grabbing number 9. Ooh, cutting a little close there.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, Teach, you know, it's a little different from last time. It's difficult to call this in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's a really good run. It's not quite the absurdity that we saw last time. But to be able to get like a 28:30-ish or whatever and have it be like 20 seconds worse than your last run is really impressive.
Oh no.
Oh, that is Okay. I don't know what happened there. He dashed up, I think, instead of up left.
Yeah, and there was no way for him to try to recover from that, unfortunately. So
Yeah. As we see Flad coming in with something that was pretty similar to his time last time. That high 28. So well done again from both. They are, along with being 4 for 4 on, for example, Bub's drop, they're also 4 for 4 on getting 28. So that's really impressive.
yeah, and it also looked like that flag was only 3 seconds off of Tej there on that summit run.
Yeah. So that's impressive. Yeah, what, an 823 and an 820.
Mm-hmm.
Still solidly done from both of them. So we've got one more race. So the way this works, I don't think we explained it before, is that all 3 races are run, and it is a point system that. And so basically, Tej having won 2 out of 3 is going to have more points than Flad. And so this last race, as far as like seeding or playoffs go, does not have much of an impact. But basically, you get 1 point for each race you, and then for winning 2 out of the 3, you get an extra point. So right now, Tej is at 3 points. He could get 4, or Flad could get 1. Yeah, Tej had a 2809 with like an 8 is an 808. That's it's good. Good time.
Yeah, we'll see if what adjustments could be made here as we head into the final race. And again, folks, don't go anywhere because we do have 2 more races, both of them Super Mario 64 related. We have 70 Star League Division 1 with Toast Strider 91 versus Punkishun, and simply an electric on the 1s and 2s for your commentating there. And then we're closing out with Ouija versus Liam Kings, which is also a 70 Star League Division 1 match. With Electric at the helm for that one, too.
Yeah, those should be both fun to watch. As they are both just about ready to start. And one thing I guess one thing you did miss is that TGH had a really nutty save on the auto scroller skip, the butt. And so one thing, as I am apparently robotic, so congratulations to anyone who was wishing for that. I guess I'll keep talking. One of the things that I've wondered about is a lot of these people, because you mess up in a lot of the similar, something that looks like improvisation and a great save is really just sort of like a save that you've done specifically that way 50 different times. And so I'm curious if the save that TGH did, and it's something I want to ask him, is something that he's done a bunch before, or if it was just straight improvisation.
Also, I'd like to take a quick moment because I just seen this on the Twitters, but Speedrun has 20,000 followers here on Twitch. So congrats to them and to all you guys for following along for this great content that we're providing. As they said on their Twitter page, they have they're just getting started. Okay, that was a awkward echo.
Sorry, I'm currently trying to fix my mic.
So you can sound like a robot.
Yeah, do I still? Well, I guess you probably can't tell if I don't know. Hello, chat. Do I sound like a robot? Evan's instructing people to get berries. I don't think that's going to happen, although you never know. They might try and grab a couple.
They're saying you sound like a smooth android. Alright, so we should be getting our third race here up and running in just a moment.
All right. It maybe sounds better? Question mark.
Sounds good on my end.
That's good. That's what's important to me, honestly. These other people, eh. But yeah, looks like we're just about to get started. As we're going to have a little bit of a sync up at the beginning here.
While we're waiting for the sync here, I would like to talk about how just the great weather that we've been having up here in the Northwest. It's been fantastic. And actually, my room is getting a little toasty, which is kind of weird in April, but I won't complain.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, it rains here a lot, so anytime that we get sun, I'm like, I need to go out there and try to enjoy it as much as I can.
For sure, for sure. I'd like to talk about how it was negative degrees earlier this winter and how that was terrible.
That sounds awful.
It was really cold. I went to work that day. Almost no one was there. We had some soup. It was okay. My car barely started. Not nearly as well as both of these two have started, which is not a good segue. But they've both here into prologue now. Did it snow in Indiana? That's unfortunate. I know it was supposed to potentially flurry-ish here in Chicago, but it hasn't really. But it's still somewhat cold. So I'm jealous of your warm weather.
Well, hopefully we can send it to you guys in due time.
I think that's often how it works. Travels east.
So we are moving and grooving here through city. So far, it's like a round. You have one person kind of going, and then the second person is just near mimicking the other player.
Yeah,
it's pretty satisfying. I'm gonna say it.
It's not quite like syncing, but it's just a little different. You get to see a strat done, and if you liked it and you wanted to see it again, you can look at the other screen and see it like that.
Yeah, particularly that corner boost there. I love that.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh. One of the questions that I have is, because I feel like at some point in time in the world, this will be the case, is like for top runners, how long will it be until when they're trying for PBs, they'll reset until they get something that's a sub 1.
That's a really good question. I think it's going to be a bit ways out. I mean, like in Teach's current PB, he had a death in city. So I feel like, yeah, you could try to, because I mean, a sub 1 minute has happened. I mean, I think Hornlets might have been the first person to do that.
Yeah, I believe so. And you've definitely had a bit more of a push. Marlin got, I think, the first 58, and then you've seen some people Zcad, F Flush, if I'm saying that correctly, have definitely been pushing, say, obviously Babai, with any IO, have been pushing it a little further for sure. Uni saying like 3 years. I feel like it's gonna be sooner than that, especially if, I mean, I guess it's not exactly like there's gonna be too many more optimizations found, but I don't know. Like, so if someone has like a 102 or a 103 and is happy with that right now, and you could get like a 59, I mean, that could potentially be 4 seconds, which at a certain level, I mean, that could be a big deal if we're really, really optimistic. I guess you could argue that there's always going to be big optimizations to be made in other chapters, banning City.
Yeah, and I kind of feel that way too. It's like, yeah, you do, you know, like for example, if you have a 102 and, you know, that 3 seconds to get to 159, I feel that instead of trying to get a sub 1 minute in City, you could turn around and just try to find a 1 second save in the other 6 chapters, which I think would be easier than like trying to get the go for the gusto in City.
Yeah, it's a very reasonable take. As we're seeing, Tej through the first 2 chapters has had a 323, a 320, and then a 323 again. So solid work from him. As we're seeing, Flad has had a little bit of difficulty in this old site for sure. So he's going to be ending up with a 154 and like 10-ish, 320. So that's like 12 seconds behind. Not where you want to be after old site for sure.
Yeah, he ran into a few deaths early on in the battle and chase, unfortunately. That one particular room where you have like the dream block and you diagonal dash up towards the second one and you can kind of like thread the needle in it. There's a few mishaps there.
Oh yeah, there weren't there? That's always a tough one.
And actually, I saw Teach doing a different strat for that, where like normally, you know, you try to thread the needle and get that nice pixel, but then the other option is to just jump out of it and then to grab the ledge and then dash forward. But Teach kind of mixed the two together. Like he found a different approach so that he could just jump straight away and then like make it there, but it looked like it was definitely faster than this. Like he had a faster setup, I guess is the best way to put it.
Nice. Yeah, that's, you know, one of the many optimizations. Fine, that's not getting a sub 1 minute City. As that's Vlad struggling a little bit with this stream here. But he gets through it as we get to the huge meth section here.
Getting some nice corner boost there too as he gets into the coin room. Teach already in crates.
Now, I feel like some people call it crates, some people is there like an official designation for this section? I know like the bingo must have a name for it.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is. I think it's just like, I've always called it crates. Like crates, books, and then towels. Like towels is another one too, because some people call it laundry. So I guess it's just such a preference. I don't think it's an actual official term.
Yeah, Chad, if you could let us know the official of the crate / boxes section, that would be great.
I guess I go for crates because it's 1 syllable versus boxes, which is 2. And, you know, being as a speed run, we're going to want to try to...
That's a good optimization.
Yeah, right? That's the optimal approach to saying which area it is.
That's a really good point.
Same with like towels versus laundry. Right?
Towels. Well, it depends on how you say it, right? You gotta kind of say like towels.
Yeah, you could be like towels, and then just that would ruin the whole purpose of it. But you know, just towels, just real quick, real swift.
Towels.
Yeah, bottom, middle, and top is another one too.
Yeah, that's easy enough. Ooh, purple books, green book, boxes, and brown books. No box. Those are all words for sure.
All right, we got Teach getting into the demo dash room here. We're gonna see. He's gonna take the checkpoint. He has already like mentioned he's committing to that.
Now, I'm able to get through this screen correctly though. It's, as we said, been difficult for people.
Well, he's able to get through it unscathed this time around. Oh, very nice. Lining up with that ledge there, so he didn't have to get set up for his dash, just seamlessly moving forward. Flad now getting into his demo dash. I feel like he's gonna go for checkpointless again.
Yeah, I gotta imagine so.
Oh yeah, he did. It's quick as
and he gets the corner boost, and then unfortunately dies later in the screen.
Teach on the final screen here. Now, I believe you mentioned that, you know, runners getting out of resort at a 7:45 is pretty good time. We're about to see that here, the 7:43 maybe?
Yeah. That's solid from TGH. You know, so if we look at like really optimally, so he had like a 3:20 in the second race, and then I saw him get like a 4:12 in a resort in a race recently. So you can really get, obviously there's a little bit timer, but you can really get like right around or below 7:40. You are playing perfectly. As Flad does the same thing he did last time, gets that first corner boost at the end there, and then misses the second.
Oh, Teach is burning through this first portion of bridge here.
Yeah, and Archie's successfully.
Teach getting ready for auto scroller number 1.
Yeah, sadly we aren't going to see any Ridge auto skips in this race. I was a little spoiled by the last one. That is another example of an optimization that we had before some of the major city ones.
Yeah, that is true. That one seems way too risky.
Well, the first auto scroller skip I think is not completely unreasonable. The second one is kind of nuts. But that first screen that we had seen from TGH there, it's not that crazy to skip it. And I have seen him just like, as we see, as I say that, Flad, is he going to, okay, no, it seems like not that time. But he was attempting the auto scroller skip there. Unless I'm crazy. I think he was.
No, he definitely was going for it. I'm curious to see if maybe like the block just didn't get lined up to where he wanted and he lost it, so he's like, well, I'm just gonna go for this anyway.
Yeah, because I only saw the second half of the screen.
Alright, and teaching Clipface here. Just doing work right now, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm always trying to think of other verbs I can use. I always want to say motoring through or powering through. But there's got to be some other good one to be able to use as well. Siege with that looked like a 241. That is definitely a solid ridge time from him. But I don't know if you have any suggestions for synonyms to power in motor.
Powering through, motoring through, making their way.
Making their way.
Verb. Yeah. Making their way downtown.
Uh-huh.
Walking fast. I don't know the rest of it, so I ruined it.
Do. Yeah, that's about all I know of it.
Wow, I feel like I should have a whole bunch of these, and I don't.
That's okay.
I'll just come up with some on the fly. Barreling through.
Ooh,
the first portion
barreling's a
of
good one.
Yep.
Parading through.
Parading
Parading.
through.
Parading, nice.
Oh, you're once, twice, 3 times a yeet. Let's go.
Yeeting through.
We should just do that one. Just yeeting through the yeet. I can dig that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if. Oh, no, teach. Okay, that presence of mind, not going for it. I respect the play.
Knows he messed something up a little earlier. Isn't gonna try and risk it.
Still very nice time with a 112 for the tip grab. Alright, we have not seen any bubs drops drawing this race so far.
And we do see another successful yeet. So that is a
Was it septuple? Or is that 7? Sextuple yeet?
yeah, I think sextuple. Tej Bubs dropping successfully. Bubsing his way through that Bubs drop. Very nice.
Bubsing and not flubbing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, to be fair, he did have a death, but side.
I might argue that going really fast with a death might be the most accurate way to Bubs through something.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Nice, getting that wall bounce there to pass through those spikes. Getting ready to go through the in the mirror portion of 5.
Yeah, looking good again so far. And keep in mind still the little bit as Flad gets it drop, no problem. As Teach does take another death, that these timers are still unsynced by about 30 seconds. So Flad does still have the lead, but not by as much as it, or sorry, TGH has the lead, but not by as much as it might look like. Or at least yeah, pretty confident.
Well, Teach grabbed Theo at 13:35. It's going to give us an idea on where Flat is at here.
Vlad getting through that full falling section, which can be a real pain, but with no problem. As Teach is finishing up 5B here, it's a solid chapter 5. 228. Is Vlad gonna get this first try? Nice, he does. Good work, Vlad.
And now Flat grabbing Theo at 13:58. So 23 seconds between the two runners, which has been the pace that we've seen throughout this entire set.
Yeah, that's very similar to what it was last time. Some nice gauntleting, though, from Vlad, getting through that without any issues.
Flat getting ready for the final room here as Teach is making his way through Lake.
Wait, he didn't mess up Bub's drop or anything, so he got a 220? Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Right? I'm not... Okay. Good work, Vlad. That's good. For anyone who might not be aware of Celeste too much of the times, that's a really good time. And helps him save. I mean, Tej did a good job too. So he didn't save as much time as he might like, but he definitely saved a little time there. We'll see if he can hit this lake skip as well. Ooh, no. They've been doing pretty well at lake skip, and then I mentioned something. And then he isn't able to get it the first try, but he does second. As they're both feathering their way through here, chapter 6.
Oh, that's another one. Feathery.
Yeah. It's all right.
Oh no, Kevin hitting nothing. As it's
Sometimes the air is just really strong, and it just stops you.
it's probably the sound wave of Madeline dashing through. It's like just put him to a halt.
That makes a lot of sense.
Actually, I'm surprised we haven't seen a video like how fast is Madeline's dash. You know, like don't they have like a bunch of channels that do like all that quirky stuff?
Yeah. Somebody get on that. You. Get on it. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any, like, Celeste physics. Anything from a scientist or whatever.
Yes, Squilio, we want you to get on that. Thanks for volunteering.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I'm a smooth android.
Alright, in the battle and fight here, as Flad is getting to the ravine portion. I mean, this has been like the ebb and flow that we've seen in all the races so far.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's been tough. Well, because Vlad was down 12 seconds or so after Old Sight, and he's just sort of been trying to play catch up ever since.
Yeah, and that is a challenging game when you're going against someone as consistent as TGH is. As I say that,
Yeah, he makes that
Getting a little
nice save though. Madeline, by the way, is canonically about, so that's accurate. Or a huge, okay, or a huge crow. That's a good point.
I mean, the crow's depicted a lot bigger in game versus during the cutscenes, like when the crow is sleeping on Madeline's head at the end of chapter 1.
No, that's true.
Because like in game, the pixel for the bird is like the same height as Madeline, but clearly that's not the same for that picture.
Right. I mean, it could be a magical bird. It is a magical mountain, but I do agree that it is more like that the bird is just smaller than Madeline. I do think the feather is just rad. Love it. I do think the feather is just giant. And these gems are massive as well.
Alright, Teach about to get into the final room of reflection here.
Yeah, and he's is this a better pace than the previous two? So he's had exactly 20 minutes for the last two, but I want to say this is a better pace than either of those.
I mean, we'll see. It looks to be. Yeah, because
wow. Okay. That's a good
52. Okay.
So he gets a 535, which is really good.
I think that's his average too.
And then a 1952. So we're looking at, so we're not looking at like necessarily, but potentially a 27. If he were to have a really, really good summit.
Now flat on the final screen of battle in here. And then we'll probably... Oh, no! What? I'm not sure what happened there. I think he's just trying to be off by 1 pixel, and battle was like, I'm going to change the game up on you. Yes, she does.
Just tight between the laser and the spike there. Just had such little room. Yeah, it would have to be a near perfect summit for sub.
Alright, Fladd getting out of Reflection at 2024. And Teach just grinding his way through 500 meters. Right?
Yeah, and he's been solid so far. As I don't know why, but that wall bounce that I just messed up on is really difficult, at least for me. I don't know what makes that wall bounce specifically so difficult, but it just is.
I thought about to get out of the opening section of the summit here, Teach, in this vertical room. About to do some more wonderful hypers out of these dream blocks.
Troy saying that Madeline's height in each segment is apparently I don't know exactly what that means, but that's interesting.
Well, I know that I believe Madeline is the same height as the car that she drove in on, which is a Volkswagen-ish type car.
Mm-hmm.
We can probably start with that.
That's true. This nice fast screen here from TGH. It looks nice every time.
Oh yeah, and taking that top screen to boot too.
Because he just slides right off into this room.
Right now, Fladd heading into that vertical room as Tej is getting ready for
Okay.
2000.
Fladd cutting it off a little early there and dying.
I'm actually going to go turn my fan on because my room is getting a little too comfortable with the heat. So
Wow.
I'll be right back.
Congratulations. I am not jealous at all. So we're going to see a little more dip here from TGH. No issues this time. He's got the berry with him. And he gets it no problem. So that's 3 for 3, I think, for him on the skip. We also have some other great suggestions in chat for figuring out Madeline's height. The car, the height of the summit stage, pictures from the Instagram, and a telephone. Also, as Fladd takes a death here, you mess up one thing in this room at the beginning, it can really be difficult. As we're seeing Fladd taking it safe a little bit there. Definitely, I think the worst thing, or one of the worst things in this game in terms of height issues, is like the buildings and the things in the background in City. Some of them just don't make any sense to me. Like you got these tiny little buildings for people to go in.
I mean, the mountain behaves in
giant.
such strange ways.
Yeah, that's true. That is quite the fan for.
Oh, can you hear it?
Well, I think it's fine. Your comfort is very important to all of us.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely getting a little too comfortable and was kind of nodding off. So.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
first of
wanna...
all, I'm sorry. As we see another skip here from Flad. But yeah, no, we don't want you to fall asleep or any of that. Oh, was that towards the end there, TGH?
But yeah, you know how like if you might, like if you're laying down, you got yourself under the blankets or whatever, you just hit that nice temperature where like you feel real cozy. Mm-hmm. That's what I was getting to, and I was just like, I don't want to do that. It sucks because like I have that same issue at work too, because like where my workspace is at, it just gets real comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, this feels really good. I feel like I want to take a nap, but I'm like, I kind of can't do that. So
I can understand that. I think some people in the chat have trouble understanding it. But I will say that as a professional commentator, I have my professional commentating shirt on in my posture and my optimal commentating temperature. So I am all set, ready to go. No fan needed to be turned on. Thing.
Yeah, if it's too much, I do apologize to everybody else, but I would rather have the fan going instead of me accidentally hitting my push to speak key and then you hear me snoring, which would be incredibly awkward.
That would be pretty great, actually. But yeah. No.
I mean, yeah, it would. But,
understandable.
I just blame it on the fact that I'm old. Mm-hmm. Took those naps for granted as a youngin', and now I'm just like, oh, you just be able to sleep for like an hour here or there, please.
That's nice, yeah. This community can definitely help make you feel a little older too.
Oh my gosh, yes, that is a whole nother topic, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Sometimes I'm just chatting it up. I'm just like, that's good. All right, great. Glad to hear. As TGH is doing real well here. He should have another low 28.
Yeah, he's looking to be on par for that right now. He might sneak under. It'll be really close. So. The slide running into a little bit of a hang up here in the downdraft portion. Still making his way through. Like, just look at the movement on flat screen.
I know.
Very precise.
I love watching the downdraft section. I feel like recently there have been a lot of good optimizations to it, and just the whole section looks crisp and just really nice to run.
Yeah, especially when you look at it from like a casual perspective, like how tough that area is, and then just watching the speedrunners just kind of go through. Speaking of which, TJH clocking in at 28:02, folks. He's going to take this set. Excellent work.
3-0. Congratulations to him. That is his best time, and so close to getting himself another 27. But yeah, congratulations to him as we see Flad pushing through here, flag 13.
A total of 5 unintentional deaths for T.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
More importantly, 2 strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have a stat for that, or a stat for that. How many strawberries are grabbed per run?
Nice. This community can definitely help. Is that something you have access to?
Yeah, it's actually on the
that is a whole nother topic.
The spreadsheet that we have for the GSA stat page. I don't think that there's been a single run where at least one berry hasn't picked up.
Okay. Does anyone just have like a disproportionately large prize?
That's a good question.
But anyways, so Teach takes a 3-0. He solidifies himself the #1 seed overall in coming into the playoffs, which are coming up real soon. And it's basically the top 8 people from this tournament make it into the playoff bracket. And then it's going to be narrowing down to 4 as we see Flad finish in. The top 4 for the grand finals, which will be live at Pace, the live speedrunning event in Maryland. So exciting for all of us, really. Playoffs, yes, we are talking about playoffs. And we do have a little bit of time here for. So, congratulations to both of you.
Hi, thank you. Yo, what's up? GG's Flad.
Hey, GG's.
Oh, he doesn't have
no,
the mic.
Mike, that's all right. If you'd be able to mute yourself potentially, actually, Flad, that would be really great. But yeah, thank you. Good job to both of you. How'd you guys feel about it?
Well, I've been struggling in like practice and runs and stuff this week, so I was a little bit apprehensive about this set, even though it really, in the end, it really didn't mean much. I think Flad and I are both guaranteed a spot in the playoffs in a week or two, but still was nervous, and it's a race against it's a 1 and 2 race. You can't not be nervous still.
Right.
But
right. Well, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like for all of us, we feel like anytime it's like you guys race, there have been some really great races in the past. So I imagine you might get a little extra excited for that as well.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like I said, I've been struggling, this week, and I just told myself for the set to just have a little bit of just keep the movement like deliberate. If I lose a few frames here and there, like it doesn't really matter that much. But like the main thing was no major time losses, and I'm not sure what my biggest like time losing death was this run, but it couldn't have been more than like 5 seconds. Which is basically like what I strive for this for the tournament in general, but especially for the set. So I'm pretty happy about it for sure.
Yeah, I have to imagine you had some really good runs there. Is finished it off with a 28:02. I think the worst one was at like 28:24. And one thing I was interested in the second race, there was in the auto scroller skip that really nice save that you had.
Oh my god.
So is that something
Yeah.
that has like that exact issue has happened before, and like that's save that you've done before? That
well, I've had like similar instances, but none quite like that. I've never had to do 2 spike jumps to save that before. So like I was actually I was laughing out loud after that screen. Just kind of wondering how in the world that happened. But yeah, that must have been something fun to see for sure.
It definitely was. It was pretty nuts. I was ready to take my eyes off of it and go on to something else because, okay, he's dead. And then, nope, there you go. But yeah, thank you guys both. I know we've got a Super Mario 64 race coming up. And so, yeah, it's been great getting to watch both of you as usual. And thank you all.
Thank you guys very much.